Congratulations, EA, on your entry into the Guinness Book of World Records. Of course, not for a good thing. This stems all the way back to the Star Wars Battlefront 2 debacle of a little while ago that many of you may have forgotten about. Well, the game was rife with loot boxes, of course, since it is an EA product. But if you need a little refresher, essentially what EA did was, well, I'll read this actually. What really angered the fans of the Star Wars franchise and those that had waited 3 years since the original Star Wars Battlefront was that EA apparently received criticism in the beta version that the cost to unlock heroes was too high. Not caring, EA doubled down on its decision and raised the cost to unlock heroes by around 75%. This is chronicled, of course, by a beta tester of that was subsequently removed. After customers began canceling their orders, did EA officially respond to the criticism by slashing prices by 75% to bring them back down to where they were during the beta. By the way, remember that they were already criticized for being too high during the beta, and all they did was go back to the prices that people didn't like in the first place. But it gets worse. What they didn't tell you was that they also slashed rewards by 75%, effectively canceling it out. Here's a tweet talking about, keep in mind, folks, EA didn't just reduce the unlock costs in Battlefront 2, they also reduced the rewards, including finishing the campaign, by 75%. They literally just rescaled the currency. Nothing has actually changed. And this was the moment when I think I really became disillusioned with AAA video games. And yes, I don't always do my part by just flat out boycotting them. Yes, I have an Origin Premier membership, so, for the channel, so I can check out their games and have an informed opinion on them. And yes, I benefit from that, from being able to play games like Madden relatively guilt-free because I already have the subscription. But ultimately, this is the time in which I became awoken to the unending greed of AAA games development. Of course, at the time, they had planned to host a Reddit AMA, blah, 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 blah. Now, the original post itself started out with 164,000 upvotes. Seriously? I paid $80 to have Vader locked. This is a joke. I'll be contacting EA support for a refund. I can't even play Darth Vader. Disgusting. This age of microtransactions has gone way too far. Leave it to EA to stretch the boundaries. Now, here's the thing. I would love if EA didn't have the Star Wars franchise. Really, I would. But Disney doesn't, and has publicly said they have basically no interest at all in removing the Star Wars franchise from EA, probably because they just make them oodles and oodles of money. Now, it remains to be seen what this new Star Wars game is going to look like. I think it looks mediocre, to be honest with you. And also, it's fair to say that maybe I'm jaded because it's run through still an EA-owned company, and we know what EA is going to do to it. I'm also not a huge fan of the Hollywood actors in the video games. It's like one of the only things that, and I'm sure I'm in the minority here, but it's one of the only things I dislike about everything I've seen with Death Stranding is that, like, I'm always going to see Daryl. I'm always going to see, it's just not going to be an original character. Now, I'm sure I'll get over it if I ever play the game. It's not on my absolutely must-buy list right now. I've got a long backlog of video games that came out as Epic exclusive that maybe I want to try. Obviously, I've had Metro Exodus on PlayStation 4 that I won at an arcade, still unopened. So I'm not in any rush to buy new games. But anyway, EA then replies, the intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. Yeah, but not Darth Vader. The character that basically everyone's going to want to play as the day they get the game. As for the cost, we selected initial value based upon data from the open beta and other adjustments to make milestone rewards before launch. I love how they're basically saying, like, hey, this is for you, not for us. Don't call us greedy. We're trying to make you feel accomplished. Among other things, we're looking at the average per player credit earns on a daily basis, and we'll be making constant adjustments and ensuring that players have challenges that are compelling. rewarding, and of course attainable via gameplay. Translation, we want it to be grindy. We want people to just forego the grind and buy this product, but we don't want to be called out for just flat out selling it. We appreciate the candid feedback and the passion of the community is put forth around the current topic here on Reddit, other forums, and numerous social media accounts. Our team will continue to make changes and monitor community feedback. Now, this was back about 1 year ago. That post at this moment has negative 667,823 points, an all-time record. And as of just the other day, EA's infamous defense of Battlefront 2's god-awful grind wins a Guinness World Record. Can't say anyone will be hanging that one on the fridge. Back in 2017, this is via PC Gamer, some poor community manager at EA waded into the controversy on Reddit surrounding Star Wars Battlefront 2 loot boxes. It might have seemed like a sensible move at the time, but now infamous comment quickly drew the ire of gamers from every corner of the internet, collecting an astonishing 667,000 downvotes and somehow 109 Reddit Gold awards. That's weird. That is weird. I don't know how Reddit Gold works, but it seems like you get money, or I don't know what it is. Now, that oopsie is forever immortalized on your nephew's bookshelf in the form of a Guinness World Record 2020 award for most downvoted Reddit comment. Reddit user Ajma spotted the record in the latest edition of Guinness World Records and shared a picture on the Star Wars subreddit. I had already known that particular comment was the most downvoted comment on Reddit. I had no idea that it outpaced the second most downvoted comment by more than 600,000 votes. Huh. What is the second most? Oh. Yeah. Okay. Here's the second worst, just for lulz. Let's keep things balanced before we ban, shall we? All right. Downvote here. Perfectly balanced. As all things should be. Maybe they were intending to be downvoted. So, I guess that's not even like necessarily a negative comment. Okay. If you missed the controversy when it was erupting in 2017, the issue was over Battlefront 2's contentious progression system that forced players to grind relentlessly to unlock notable heroes like Darth Vader for in-game use. Well, it was not only that, but it was also publicly known that they not only, even after they had adjusted it, they went back and just adjusted the payout, so effectively making no changes whatsoever. Anger over EA's greedy loot boxes became the defining topic of PC gaming in 2017 and continues to stay in the foreground as regulators slowly begin to investigate the issues. Concerns about loot boxes conditioning younger players as well as their inherent fairness have already led countries responding with different forms of regulation, despite all the gamer rage. Oh, I hate that. It's called customer pushback. When you say gamer rage, you devalue it because of all the people out there that are always using gamer as a negative connotation. I don't like that. The developers at DICE did listen to overwhelming feedback and began making changes to Battlefront 2's progression system, making it more rewarding and taking away the emphasis on loot boxes, even if it had an ugly launch. Battlefront 2 is actually in a good place. Now, a year later, it's funny that, I don't know if you're like this, but nowadays when a new game comes out, for the most part, other than like Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm like, I'll see you in a year. Because one, I know the game's going to launch with bugs. Two, I know the game's going to have problems, whether it be with the monetization, the microtransactions, loot boxes, available content, all sorts of stuff like that. Three, if I wait a year, I'll get it for a third of the price. So all of the benefit, all of the value is just waiting a year for the game. Now, it's harder to do with certain types of games, maybe Madden, sports games where you've got to have that new roster update, or maybe the latest fighting game, or whatever the case may be. But nonetheless, correction, an earlier version of this article stated that there was no way to directly purchase heroes at launch. That wasn't the case. The issue over Battlefront 2's monetization was about loot boxes, which contained star cars, not heroes, and they were not changed. Also, this article seems to forget that EA subsequently pretended like they fixed the problem, but ultimately did nothing. So, congratulations to Electronic Arts. I want to give you a huge shout out for being one of the worst companies ever. It's so frustrating. It's like, this is what happens when you have to answer to shareholders. You know, being publicly traded is what I believe really hurts Blizzard. Being publicly traded really hurts most large video game developers because they're not answering to their core customers anymore. And every time they have to choose between gameplay and their customers and monetization, they're picking monetization and they're going way too far. I don't think any lessons will be learned here. I think it's funny to meme on EA, and you know, EA will always be EA. They'll always pump out games to be mad about because the problem is they have some legitimately good licenses and they're pretty good at what they do. A lot of their games are at least decent. I know that a lot of blind dislike for EA will come out and say like, oh yeah, screw it. Well, I mean, nobody was saying Apex Legends was horrible at launch. I mean, the game is thin and it's pretty much fallen off now, but it's not like it was a bad game. Battlefront 2, it wasn't exactly a bad game. It had the same amount of problems as anything else, but EA constantly shoots itself in the foot by providing over-aggressive monetization, having out-of-touch responses to the community, and holding hostage some of our beloved franchises like Star Wars. But, like I said, Disney's partly to blame for that too. I hope you enjoyed this video. Congratulations, EA, and we'll talk to you again real soon. I sincerely hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, before you leave, make sure you leave a like and drop a comment on it. It's the only way to help the channel grow in today's YouTube environment. Above, you'll find a link to subscribe, and make sure you turn your notifications on, or if you just want to check out another video, there's one of those up there too.